the years go by, and when my daughter was in like middle school, I just had this feeling, this desire, like I want to do something. I was selling insurance at the time, and I thought I want to do something that has value, something that really matters. And so I asked God, I was, all right, God, if you show me what you want me to do, I will do it. And be careful when you say that to God.
Yeah.
So
Be careful about that.
be careful. So yeah, I was told about Genesis, and you know, this is what they do at Genesis. They talk to women, they had babies, and wasn't a whole lot of abortion discussion at that time, um, but just, I thought, oh, that sounds nice. I can
Mhm.
help women with babies. I can do that. It's a pro-life thing. Sure, sure. And so I went and applied for the job as an insurance agent for like I'm a car insurance agent. How weird. And I applied for the job, and they hired me to be the executive director. Seriously, how weird is that? So I was in shock. I said to my husband, I can't believe it. Like, okay, this is amazing. And so I start to work at Genesis, and it was like probably 8 weeks until I realized, so this woman came in and she said, I'm gonna have an abortion. And I was like, no, oh no, you can't do that. And I started to talk to her about my story.
Yeah.
The only person that really knew for the most part about that was my husband. And I talked with her and I cried with her, and she did not have her abortion. And I left work that
Great.
day, and I sat in my car and I was like, okay, Lord, what are you doing here? I don't really want to talk about that ever again.
Mm.
I'll do it for you, for these women. But how's that going to work? Because somebody else is going to find out. The people that hired me, they're going to find out that I've had abortions. And then what are they going to think? They're going to think I'm awful.
Yeah, God sent you there, I believe. Yeah,
Yeah.
to
So I
use.
just, I just, again, I had some fear. And
Hmm.
then I thought, okay, well, let me just rip the Band-Aid off. I'll call a meeting. So I called a meeting with the board, and there's some things I need to tell you. Um, it didn't seem important when you interviewed me, but let me tell you this. So I told them what had happened. And of course, particularly Anne, who's the matriarch of our board, she said, this is exactly why God brought you to us.
Yes.
And so it was very freeing to tell them and have them still love me. And so I started to be able to really talk about it at work openly and not be ashamed of that, and work on making our clinic become medical so that we could ultrasound, because I want my women to see their babies, and I want them to hear the heartbeat. And that was taken from me,
Yeah.
and I'm giving
What's
it
this
back.
what's the statistic on women that see the baby with the ultrasound that they will choose life?
Oh, it's like 85-90%. Yeah. Yeah, it's and it's necessary. It's before
Yeah.
you make a decision like that, you know,
Hmm.
even if you're not on our side, you should know the truth. You should know how far along you are. Many,
Yes.
many girls come in and think, "Oh, I'm only 5 weeks," and they're 12.
Yeah.
Or, they need to know, you need to know what you're doing before you do it. And that when we do that with any other thing in healthcare, don't we? So
Yes.
we should do it for this. Um, so yeah, so it's Genesis has been life changing for me, and it's interesting because I feel like God forced healing upon me. He knew that I really hadn't had the experience of healing, and he needed to use me. And so he said, okay, not only am I going to use you, but I'm going to heal you in the process.
Yeah,
So
that's what he did.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what he did. And, I had some women in my early days really say, like, you can't be used of God in this way. You haven't done counseling. You haven't read this book. You haven't gone through this. And I was like, well, you can talk to God about it. This is what he's done. And I'm following the path that he has for me. And, I've read lots of books by this point. I've attended many healing seminars. And I've written my own book. So, he's healed me in the process. And I don't know if I believe that, there's 100% healing for someone who's in my position that's been through the things I've been. But I know that I'm 100% forgiven.
Yes.
Definitely 100% forgiven. And I really, I just really am grateful. And, sometimes when we're working with abortion-minded women, does my heart ache for them and remember the pain? Of course it does. But that's okay. That's okay. That's God's using, what I've been through to help another woman and to be able to connect with her. So now I've been at Genesis for this May will be the end of my 7th year, going on 8 years. This spring, I'll start my 8th year.
Yes.
And I'm so grateful of what we've been able to accomplish at our clinic. It's been amazing. We did the numbers for the podcast that we have since 2019. We've saved 375 unborn lives.
That's
And
awesome.
that's amazing. It's amazing.
Yes. Yes. And how is Genesis Women's Clinic different from maybe another clinic? How do you come alongside, like, a woman comes in that's abortion minded? How do you come and surround her and give her support? You shared with me that when they come, they get support, but not only when they first come. You told me that you stay there until that the child, after they give birth, is in preschool. So it's not just one time they come and they get a little counsel. So
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you explain what Genesis does? And I want to tell everybody, if you go to the VictoryEmbraced blog and then you go to Wendy's testimony, at the end of her testimony is Genesis Women's Clinic. You click on this and it'll bring you to the site. And also there's a spot for donations. And every once in a while, I think somewhere on your site, you mention what needs you presently have, like diapers or what other needs that you may have, right? You have a spot on the site for that. Is that is that in which section of the site is that on?
It might be under the About Us section.
Okay. Let's see here.
We kind of move things around sometimes, so
yeah, that's okay.
Sometimes it gets moved from page to page, but
yeah, that's okay. You have a thrift store.
Yeah.
And you have the donation link here. And again, Grace is moderating.
There you go. It's right under the donate page. Yeah.
Yeah. Right now on the website, shampoo and lotion, diaper cream, diaper sizes newborn to 6. So your list changes based on the needs, I'm sure, correct?
Correct.
And if you don't live locally, I want to encourage you to come to the contact page, because on the contact page, there's the address to the Pottstown location and the Phoenixville location. And you can go to the post office and mail the donation items. And then Wendy and her team at Genesis will receive them. And if you can bless them with donations, it's a great, great place. And your donation, they have high integrity. And I just want to encourage everybody to do that. And what kind of encouragement can you give to women who are pregnant? But before you do that, can you explain how you come alongside the women for the 3 years, and when they come into the office, like what you guys do?
Yeah, so when someone comes in, especially for a first appointment and especially an ultrasound appointment, we realize that they're coming to us with a whole lot of fear. And so what we try to do is, and this is an important part of the talk for any woman facing an unplanned pregnancy, is we attack the circumstances, not the baby. So tell me what you're afraid of. Tell me what's going on in your life. Why does it feel impossible? And let's go after that. Let's find solutions to that, not end the life of the baby as the answer. So, we kind of, each woman is different. Each woman may have, it could be, well, what is the boyfriend going to think? Or now I'm going to be alone because he left me, or I don't have support. I don't have a job. So there's a lot of different things that we hear. And we create a program that is unique to each woman. So we look at all her needs. What does she need? How can we help her? And we do that. And she becomes part of our family of women.
Yeah.
And we look at what we need to do for her so she can be successful. And, a baby is not a negative end to your life. Many, many times the baby turns out to be the catalyst to change that really needs to happen in her life. It gives her purpose. She realizes, I love this child. This child is my life. And I really want to do better to be a good mom. So we create monthly appointments that she can attend from the birth of the baby till the baby is 3. That gives her the right to come in, meet a counselor, talk through any issues she's having. And we give them diapers, formula, clothing, all the things they need to start with the baby, the crib, the high chair, the car seat, everything. So she's all geared up and ready to go by the 7th month. That's what our goal is, so that if there's an early delivery, she's ready. And we are able to help her continuously till that child is around 3 years old. And we continue to help and support her emotionally, make sure she's in a safe relationship. Is she have housing? Which is why we made the decision to open Genesis House for Moms, which is something we did. We opened January 1st. So that's been very exciting. We have a resident young woman living there with her baby.
Yeah, congratulations. That's awesome.
We're really proud of that. She's doing phenomenal. So I'm super excited. She just got baptized at Berean 2 Sundays ago, which was so great. So we're not at all what they say out there on the other side, which is you just get them to keep their babies, and then what do you do for them? We do a lot. And if they have other children, we help the other children. If she has a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old, well, the 1-year-old and the 3-year-old come into our program. We provide diapers for them as well, clothing for them, all of their needs. So Genesis takes the whole family into the program, and we do quite a bit to try to make their lives better. We take away many of the fears in that first visit, so that she can embrace the idea of motherhood and realize, I can do this and I will be supported.
Yeah, it really helps to have a team behind her. You become in essence like a family.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
I've been in the delivery room 4 times now because we've had girls that don't have moms. And I've been able to, help with that and hold girls' hands while they push and not let them be alone. And that's been such a great honor for me.
Yeah. So what encouragement can you give a girl, a woman, that is pregnant, that is scared, that is possibly thinking of abortion?
Yeah, I think that that initial response to finding out, you need to sit with that. You need to take some time to calm down. I mean, again, with no other medical condition do we find out something and just respond the next minute.
Yeah.
You need to calm down. You need to get some support. You need to talk to people like us who can say, your baby is valuable just as you are valuable. And, God has a plan. He's allowed this to happen, and He has a plan, and we're here to help you, and we will support you. So it's really good to not just react. You need to take time to calm down, to think it through, and to realize what is possible. Nowadays we live in a culture where women are being told, you don't need babies. You need to get out there and get a career. You need to push, and you need to be aggressive, and you need to, all these things. But women are given the unique gift of being able to have a baby and carry a baby and give birth to a baby. And this is an amazing miracle for women. So, we need to, embrace that. We also remind girls that abstinence is best. We encourage them to follow through with that after they have their babies if they're not in a married relationship. So we try to give a lot of really good advice based on the morals of God and that He lays out for us as Christians. But I think that many women have come to us in that fearful moment, and because they were properly supported, they were allowed to speak, allowed to share, they calmed down, and they said, I want to keep my baby.
Yeah, that's great advice and encouragement. And it's awesome that God put you there. That's obviously God's plan. He just sent you there and knew exactly. He always knows what He's doing.
Yes, He does.
And He's awesome like that. And you're right that God took your hand and He gave you counsel. He gave you, as you started working at Genesis, He was right with you, and through that whole healing process. And now you could come alongside of others and be such a great support. And I want to show people your book, because Wendy wrote a book, and it's called Running Towards Abortion, A Journey of Healing and Redemption. And this is on Wendy's testimony on the blog too. So here you have the Genesis information, and right below the Genesis information, if you click on the book cover, it'll lead you right to Amazon. And she has a bunch of reviews here. My daughter bought the book. My daughter is reading the book. So, Ed, she's all excited about that. And I know you shared your testimony at Berean too, correct?
Yep.
So that is Wendy's book. And again, Grace is in chat, and she probably shared the link so you can purchase through Amazon. You could get it on Amazon. So I encourage you to get that for yourself or for somebody else, to bless somebody else. And I have the information here. That's a title, Running Towards Abortion, A Journey of Healing and Redemption, on Amazon. And link is in chat.
Yeah, I'm really grateful about the book. I was encouraged by a good friend of mine, Stephen Holland, who's also an ambassador speaker, to write the book. And it again just brought more healing for me to be able to write it and have people read it. We're coming up on 2,000 copies being sold, and just
Great.
really glad that it's going to people that really need to read it.
Yeah.
And it's been everywhere. When I go to speak, because now that I'm also speaking with Ambassador, I'm finding myself in places. I've been invited to speak in Catholic schools, and to young people, and to women's events, and just all over the place. I leave on Tuesday for some events in Missouri.
Mhm.
So nobody's more, blown away by what God has done with this whole thing, and with the story, of what He did for me. And I'm so grateful, and I feel so blessed that God would take the mess that was my life and turn it into something usable for Him.